Nobles died after eating it. Priests called it evil. So why didn't anyone realize the real killer was sitting on their own dinner plate? The tomato originated in western South America, likely in the region now split between Peru and Ecuador, where wild varieties still grow today. Ancient peoples in Mesoamerica, particularly the Aztecs, were the ones who actually domesticated it, cultivating larger, sweeter varieties centuries before any European ever laid eyes on one. The Aztecs called it tomatal, and it appeared regularly in their cooking, often blended with chili peppers into early forms of salsa. When Spanish conquistadors invaded the Aztec Empire in the early 1500s, they encountered tomatoes growing alongside crops like maize and beans. Spanish accounts from the period describe unfamiliar fruit sold in Aztec marketplaces, and by the 1520s, tomato seeds had made their way back across the Atlantic to Spain. Nobody at the time understood they were carrying home a plant that would spend the next 2 centuries terrifying half of Europe. Here's the problem: the tomato belongs to the nightshade family, a botanical group that includes deadly poisonous plants like belladonna and mandrake. European botanists in the 1500s knew this family's reputation well, and many immediately assumed the tomato must be toxic too. Italian botanist Pietro Andrea Mottioli initially classified the tomato as a type of mandrake in 1544, cementing a dangerous association that would haunt the fruit for generations. Wealthy Europeans had a very specific reason to fear tomatoes: their tableware. Aristocratic households across Europe commonly used pewter plates, which contained high lead content. Acidic foods like tomatoes could leach lead out of these plates at dangerous levels. When nobles who ate tomatoes off pewter later fell ill or died, tomatoes got the blame, not the lead poisoning quietly seeping from their own dinnerware. The poorer classes, eating off wooden plates, never had this problem, and rarely feared the fruit at all. By the late 1500s, the tomato had earned a dramatic nickname in parts of Europe: the poison apple. In England, it was frequently grown purely as an ornamental curiosity, admired for its bright color but considered unfit for eating. Some English botanical texts from this era describe tomatoes as attractive but dangerous, fit only for decoration in a garden, never for a dinner plate. Meanwhile, an entirely different story was unfolding in Italy. Italian cooks, less bound by the aristocratic fears gripping northern Europe, slowly began experimenting with tomatoes in cooking throughout the 1600s and 1700s. Southern Italy's warm climate proved ideal for tomato cultivation, and by the 1700s, tomato-based sauces were beginning to appear in Italian cookbooks, the earliest ancestors of the tomato sauce that would eventually define Italian cuisine worldwide. Fear of the tomato lingered stubbornly in America even into the 1800s. A persistent, though likely embellished, legend claims that in 1820, a man named Robert Gibbon Johnson publicly ate a tomato on the courthouse steps of Salem, New Jersey, to prove to a shocked crowd that it wouldn't kill him. Whether or not this exact event happened is often retold, it captures a genuine cultural reality. Well into the 19th century, many Americans still viewed tomatoes with real suspicion. Attitudes shifted decisively through the 1800s as agricultural knowledge spread and the lead poisoning mystery quietly faded from memory alongside changing tableware habits. Tomato cultivation expanded rapidly across America and Europe, and by the mid-1800s, cookbooks on both continents featured tomato recipes without hesitation. The fruit that had once been dismissed as an ornamental poison was rapidly becoming a kitchen essential. In 1893, the United States Supreme Court weighed in on an unexpected tomato controversy: was it a fruit or a vegetable? Botanically, tomatoes are fruits, but in the case Nix versus Hedden, the court ruled that for tariff purposes, tomatoes should legally be classified as vegetables, since they were grown and consumed like one. This bizarre legal ruling still technically stands in American law today, over a century later. From a feared poison apple blamed for aristocratic deaths, to a legal battle in America's highest court, to becoming one of the most consumed fruits on the entire planet, the tomato's journey from terror to tomato sauce spans nearly 300 years. Today it's impossible to imagine pizza, pasta, or a simple salad without it. The next time you slice into a tomato, remember, Europe once thought it could kill you.